你好。
你好，大家下午好。
Happy New Year to you all too.
大家新年好。
That's like a happy Kiwi New Year.
快乐 Kiwi 节。
Because I know that you have Chinese New Year coming up soon.
我知道，中国人的春节还没有到。
And so you are very fortunate. You have 2 New Years.
所以大家特别的幸运，就可以过2次。
You have a Kiwi New Year and a Chinese New Year.
有一个是新西兰人的新年，然后还有中国人自己的新年。
I hope you've had a good start to 2019.
希望大家在这个2019年开始的时候是一个很好的开始。
I've had a very good start to 2019.
我有一个不错的开始。
My daughter Holly had a baby last Sunday, so I'm a grandfather.
我的女儿上一周 Holly 她生了一个小孩，现在我是一个外公。
But actually, it's my 4th grandchild.
其实这是我第4个外孙。
And I went down to Wellington a few days ago just to hold my little grandson.
我特意的去到了惠灵顿，就为了抱抱我的这个。
And he's very, very tiny, just a little baby.
还特别的小。
He's very cute.
他很可爱。
Well, I don't know how you celebrated New Year or whether you did celebrate the Kiwi New Year.
我不知道你们是怎么庆祝新年的，或者说这个新西兰新年你们是怎么庆祝的？
But I'm sure that you have got plans for Chinese New Year.
但是我知道大家应该已经对这个春节有准备了。
I wonder how you will celebrate New Year.
我想知道大家是怎么庆祝的。
Perhaps you'll gather together with family and have food.
你们可能会和家人聚餐。
Maybe you'll exchange gifts.
或者你们交换礼物。
I understand in Chinese tradition, red envelopes are very important.
我知道在中国的传统里面，红包
Maybe fireworks,
或者烟花。
I'm sure there are many things that you celebrate with Chinese New Year.
我知道你们有很多的庆祝方式，在这个春节的时候。
Every culture has their own way of celebrating New Year, don't they?
每一个文化中都有他们不同的庆祝新年的方式。
As many of you know, I lived in Japan for many years.
你们当中有不少人知道我在日本生活了不长。
And New Year in Japan was a very important time of year.
这个新年或者元旦在日本是一个非常重要的节日。
Actually, one of the most important things at New Year is to send greeting cards in Japan.
对他们来说，发贺年卡是一件特别重要的事情。
These greeting cards are known as Nengajo in Japan.
这些贺年卡的名字在日文叫做 Nengajo。
And everyone sends these Nengajo out to everyone else.
每一个人都会寄出这些贺年卡。
In fact, in Japan, there are over 3 billion Nengajo cards sent in the mail.
在日本，每年平均会有30亿张的贺年卡被寄出。
You send them to your friends and your family and your classmates and your co-workers and your boss.
你会把它寄给你的家人、你的朋友、你的同事、你的老板。
Basically, anyone you know, you send a card to.
你寄给所有你认识的人。
I think I have a one on the yes, it's the one slide before. Sorry, I don't have my clicker. Let me just grab my clicker and I can move that on myself. But I have a picture of there's a typical Nengajo on the screen.
然后在我们大屏幕上可以看到，这是一个就是怎么说，典型的一张贺年卡的样子。
And you'll see it's got some pigs on it.
你可以看到上面有一些猪。
Because it's the year of the pig, isn't it? 2019.
因为我们知道今年是猪年。
Well, not only do they send these Nengajo, there's another very important thing that the Japanese do.
除了这个贺年卡之外，他们还有一个很重要的习俗。
It's known as osoji.
叫 osoji。
Osoji means the big clean.
是大扫除的意思，在字面上。
And it's a Japanese custom at the end of every year to clean your house from top to bottom.
这也是他们年底的一个习俗，就是上上下下的清理的房子。
The aim is to purify your house.
有除旧迎新这样的意思。
To prepare it for a fresh, clean start for the new year.
所以大家可以干干净净、清清爽爽的开始新的一年。
In New Zealand, we call that a spring clean.
在新西兰我们叫春季大扫除。
This afternoon, I want to share a verse with you that talks about cleaning ourselves.
今天下 下午会和大家分享一些经文，是关于如何自洁。
I want to begin by reading a story from Joshua chapter 3.
在开始今天的信息之前，我会给大家读一个故事。
And it's a story of something that took place just as the Israelites, the people of Israel, were planning to go into the land that God had promised them.
这个故事来自于约书亚记的第3章，是在以色列人他们进入应许之地之前发生的。
The story goes all the way back to the beginning of the nation of Israel.
这个故事可以追溯到在以色列民族早期的时候。
For hundreds of years up until this point, God had promised the people of Israel their own land.
在这个时间点的几百年前，神就已经应许了以色列人这个应许之地。
And they've carried this promise around in their heart for hundreds of years.
以色列民族带着这个应许之地的
God
想
made,
法好几百年。
God made this promise. He said, I will bring you into the land that I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
上帝是这样应许他们的，他说：“我起誓应许给亚伯拉罕、以撒、雅各的那地，我要把你们领进去。”
These people had been slaves in the land of Egypt for hundreds of years.
这些人在埃及地为奴400年，
But God had delivered them out of Egypt.
但是神已经带领他们离开埃及。
And He led them through the desert, and they were now on the very verge of this special promised land that God was about to give them.
神带领他们穿越过旷野，他们现在已经在应许之地的路口。
There's just one more thing in their way,
这就是其中还剩下一个阻碍，
and that's the River Jordan.
那就是约旦河。
And the River Jordan was in flood stage, so it was very difficult to cross the river.
约旦河呢，当时正在一个非常高的水位，也就是一个危险期。
There are no bridges.
没有
There's
大
no-
桥，
Sorry, there are no boats.
也没有船只，
There's no safe place to cross this river.
也没有任何可以安全涉水的浅滩。
And yet here they are standing on the edge of this river, and God is saying to them, get ready because you are going to cross the river into this new land.
他们就站在这个河岸上，神告诉他们：“你们要预备好，因为我们马上要去到应许之地。”
These people don't know what is ahead of them, and yet God is saying, trust me because I will lead you.
他们不知道，这群人他们并不知道他们将要面对的是什么，但是他们知道的是神要带领他们，因为神告诉他们说：“我要领你们进入那地。”
Let's read from Joshua 3, 1 to 5. Early in the morning, Joshua and all the Israelites set out and went to the Jordan, where they camped before crossing over. After 3 days, the officers went throughout the camp, giving orders to the people. When you see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God and the priests who are Levites carrying it, you are to move out from your positions and follow it. Then you will know which way to go, since you've never been this way before. Yeah, everyone can read together.
我们一起来读接下来的5节经文。
约书亚清早起来，和以色列众人都离开石亭，来到约旦河，就住在那里，等候过河。过了3天，官长走遍营中，吩咐百姓说：“你们看见耶和华你们神的约柜，又见祭司利未人抬着，就要离开所住的地方，跟着约柜去。只是你们和约柜相离，要在两岸行走，不可与约柜相近，使你们知道所当走的路，因为这条路你们向来没有走过。”约书亚吩咐百姓说：“你们要自洁，因为明天耶和华必在你们中间行奇事。”
So Joshua says to the people, consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you.
约书亚对众人说：“你们要自洁，因为明天耶和华必在你们中间行奇事。”
These people are right there on the very edge of this land that God has promised them.
这群人就站在应许之地的入口之处。
They're ready to grasp this promise that they've been carrying around in their hearts for all these years.
他们已经准备好接受这个在他们心中数百年的应许。
And so Joshua goes round to all the people, not just the leaders, but to everyone, and he says, consecrate yourselves.
所以约书亚对众人说，而不是只对领袖说，请你们要自洁。
Notice what he doesn't say.
你们看他没有说的是，
He doesn't go to them and say, check your shields and sharpen your swords, because we are going into battle.
他没有对他们说，请大家检查你们的装备，看看你们的盾牌，磨砺你们的刀剑，因为我们要进入备战状态。
That would have been a very logical thing to say, because they knew that across the other side there was an enemy.
这样看来会更加的有逻辑，如果他是这样说的，因为他知道，约书亚知道在河的那边他们会遇到敌人。
When they get over the other side, they will need their shields and they will need their swords sharpened.
在他们过了这个河之后，他们会需要用到他们的盾牌，也需要用到他们的剑。
But he doesn't say, check your shields and sharpen your swords.
但这是他对他们说的话，并不是检查你的盾牌或者磨砺你的剑。
What does he say?
他说了什么？
He says, consecrate yourselves.
他说你们要自洁。
In other words, get yourselves ready.
用另外一种方式来表述，就是你们要准备好你们自己。
Don't get your shields and your swords ready, get yourselves ready.
不要只是花时间在检查装备上，而是预备你们自己。
And friends, this is a good word for us as we enter into New Year, as we enter into 2019.
朋友们，在2019年刚刚开始，新年伊始的时候，这对我们每一个人也是一个非常好的忠告。
Consecrate yourselves.
你们要自洁。
Now, what does this word consecrate mean?
那自洁这个词是什么意思呢？
Well, in the English, especially, the word consecrate is not used very much.
在英文中 ，consecrate 这是一个自洁是一个比较老的词，在现在的英文中已经不太使用了。
The word consecrate really just means to dedicate. It means saying to God, here I am, I'm giving myself to you afresh.
自洁这个词，它其实会意为说是一个全然的奉献，或者说是对神说：“神啊，我在这里，我愿意把我全人交给你。”
This word consecrate really means I'm God, I'm giving myself to you and your purposes in my life.
它实际上说的是：神啊，我愿意把自己献给你，把自己交托给你，把自己献于你，放在我生命中的目的。
To consecrate ourselves really means to get ourselves in a right relationship with God.
我们要自洁，更深层面的意思是，让我们进入到和神一个正确的关系当中去。
Now, for these people, the people of Israel, there were actual physical things that they had to do to get ready to be in relationship with God.
而对于这些以色列人来说，他们有一些实际上的一些事物、操作上的事情需要去做，以至于他们可以自洁。
There were all sorts of laws and regulations about what they had to do.
我们知道有一些律法，有一些相关的规定，他们需要去做。
In order to get themselves right with God, they had to prepare themselves. They had to wash their clothes. They had to wash themselves. They had to abstain from eating certain foods.
在敬拜神之前，在亲近神之前，他们要洁净自己。这些包括了他们要洗衣服，他们要用水洗全身，他们不可吃一些特定的食物。
There were many things that they had to physically do to consecrate themselves.
有一些他们实际上要去做的事情。
But of course, now that Jesus has done it all for us, we don't have to do those physical things now.
但是于今日我们是基督徒，我们在操作上不需要和他们做一样的事情。
God has made us clean through what Jesus did on the cross for us.
神已经让我们把我们洁净，是通过耶稣基督在十字架上为我们所做的。
In order to make ourselves clean before God, we don't have to go to the temple, we don't have to wash our hands, we don't have to ring a bell, we don't have to do all those physical things.
我们不再需要和当时的人一样去洗手，或者是到圣殿中去摇铃在我们去亲近神之前。
In order for us to have a good relationship with God, we have to by faith accept what He has done, invite Him into our lives, and allow Him to forgive our sins.
我们要借着我们的信心，我们去信靠我们的神，并接受他在十字架上为我们所做的，邀请他进入我们的生命中。
And so this word consecrate really just means to dedicate ourselves afresh to God.
所以在这个自洁这个词还有一层意思，便是奉献我们自己全然的委身于神。
As we go into 2019, let's consecrate ourselves. Let's say to God, God, here I am. I'm giving myself afresh to you for this new year.
在进入到2019年的时候，我们对神说，我们愿意献上我们的全人，我们愿意全然的委身和服侍奉献。
God, I want to find my satisfaction in your unfailing love for me.
并对神说，神，我愿意在你的爱中寻找到满足。
God, I know that there will be trouble, that there may well be trouble in this coming year, but I want to face it with you.
神，我知道在接下来的一年，我们也许会面对各种的问题和困难，但神，我愿你与我们同在。
And so, God, I consecrate myself to you in preparation for this coming year.
神，所以在预备新年、预备来年的时候，我们愿意自洁来到你的面前。
So what is it that we have to consecrate? How do we get ready? How do we set ourselves apart for God this year?
所以我们需要自洁奉献的是什么呢？我们如何才能做好准备？如何才能把自己分别开来奉献给神呢？
I want to share 3 ways that we can do that.
今天呢，我们要分享3点，我们可以如何去做。
First of all, consecrate our time.
第一点是奉献你的时间。
We live in such a busy world, don't we?
我们生活在一个非常繁忙的时代，
There is always so much to do.
总是有很多可以去做的事情。
Life just seems to get busier and busier.
生活好像越来越忙。
Before long, we've just finished thinking about Christmas, and now we've got New Year. Before long, it will be Easter, and then we'll be talking about Christmas again.
我们刚过了圣诞节，然后我们过了新年，然后很快我们会去想复活节，之后又是圣诞节。
And time just seems to go so fast.
时间过得飞快。
Joshua says, consecrate yourselves.
约书亚说：“你们要自洁。”
Not consecrating your shields and your swords.
并不是说洁净你的盾牌或者你的剑。
And you know, I wonder sometimes if we get so busy looking after our swords and our shields, we get so busy looking after our things that we forget to look after the most important thing, and that's ourselves.
我想说的是，很多的时候我们花过多的时间去准备我们的装备，或者去一些繁杂的事情，而我们忘记了预备我们自己。
And we're so busy that we overlook looking after our spiritual lives.
我们太忙了，而且我们又忙碌，作为我们忽视花时间灵修。
I'm too busy to read the Bible.
我太忙了，没时间读圣经。
I'm too busy to pray.
我太忙了，没时间祷告。
I'm too busy to get involved here at church.
我太忙了，我也没时间参加教会的一些事情。
I'm too busy to get involved in a small group.
我太忙了，没时间参加小组。
Friends, if you're too busy, then maybe it's time to get some margin into your lives.
朋友们，如果你们觉得自己太忙了，时间不够用，可能是时候为自己预留一些时间。
Maybe it's time to kind of create some space in your lives.
可能是时候给自己空出一些空档。
Maybe we need to stop being so busy with our swords and our shields and get busy preparing ourselves.
可能也是时候停止去不断的整全我们的装备，而是更多的去预备我们自己。
To be spending more time in our relationship with God.
我们需要花更多的时间去亲近神。
Consecrate your time.
你们要自洁，你们要奉献你们的时间。
And so let me ask you this question today.
让我今天问大家一个问题。
What is it that God is wanting you to do with your time in 2019?
在2019年，上帝希望你如何用你的时间，如何分配呢？
Second thing we could consecrate is our money.
今天要讲的第二点是奉献你的金钱。
I want to save this issue for another day, but let me just say 1 or 2 things about this.
这一点我想留下来下一讲之后再说。但是其实还是有一点我想知道。
Maybe at the beginning of a new year, it's time to look at the way that we use our money.
可能在每一年年初的时候，大家都会回顾说我们用钱的方式。
Maybe it's time to consecrate our money as well.
所以这是一个让我们去思考奉献的时间。
To say to God, God, all that I have actually comes from you.
神啊，我们所有的一切都来于你。
All that I have is yours.
我所有的一切也都归于你。
And then say to God, God, how do you want me to use what you have already given me?
所以我们对神说：“神啊，你希望我们如何使用你所给我们的一切呢？
Consecrate your money.
奉献你的金钱。
Actually, this is probably the hardest one to do.
其实这也是非常难、非常有挑战的一件事情。
So let me ask you this.
所以让我来问大家，
what is it that God is wanting you to do with your money this year?
所以2019年，神希望你用你的金钱来做什么事情呢？
So consecrate your time and consecrate your money, and then thirdly, consecrate your gifts.
所以我们说奉献你的时间，奉献你的金钱，然后现在是我们第3点，奉献你的恩赐。
God has given all of us gifts or talents.
神给了我们每一个人恩赐和我们一些特长。
Every one of us here is gifted.
我们当中的每一个人都是有恩赐的。
Every one of us here has something special that we are able to do.
我们都有一些特殊的技能，是只有我们可以做的。
Every one of us here has something unique that makes us who we are.
这很特别，也让我们别于他人。
Some of you have got great musical gifts.
有一些人有特别好的音乐天赋。
I saw that great worship team up here just before.
比如说刚才我们敬拜团队的弟兄姐妹。
Some of you are great teachers.
有些是特别善于当老师、当教师。
Some of you love to spend time with children.
你们当中还有一些人是热心于服侍孩子的。
Some of you love to have people in your home. You love to host in your home.
还有一些是特别好客，可以在家里招待别人的。
Some of you are good listeners.
还有一些是特别好的倾听者。
Some of you are very practical. You love to do stuff.
还有一些动手操作能力很强的人。
Some of you are wonderful givers.
还有一些好施舍的。
Maybe God wants to stretch you this year to use your gift of giving even more.
慷慨给予的人，也许在今年神会继续用你，让你可以在更多的事情上去奉献。
Some of you perhaps love making good coffee.
还有你们当中有些人咖啡打得特别好。
You can see me afterwards because I love coffee.
我很喜欢喝咖啡。如果你咖啡打得好，结束的时候你来找
Some
我。
of you love working in the kitchen and making great food.
还有一些人饭做得特别好吃，然后对。
Some of you are great with finance.
你们其中有些人特别善于管理财。
You see, there are endless gifts that God has given us.
我们可以看到有各种各样数不尽的恩赐神给
And
我们。
here in this congregation, there are an infinite variety of these gifts.
而在我们的会众中，这样的恩赐也是多种多样。
But you know what? A gift is given to be used.
但是呢，恩赐或者礼物这样的东西给我们，最好是拿来用。
A gift is not given just to remain unopened or unused.
礼物不是给我们留着封存不动的。
And maybe here at the start of a new year, it's time for us to consecrate our gifts, to consecrate the things that God has made us good at.
在新年伊始的时候，也是时候让我们献上我们的恩赐，把神赐给我们的，把我们所擅长的东西用来服侍给神。
To say to God, God, you have gifted me. There's some good things, there's some things that I'm good at. I want to use those things for you this year.
并对神说：“神啊，你赐给我的这些我的恩赐，在新的一年里，我愿意用来服侍你。”
And in a church this size, we're always needing people to do things.
在我们教会，在这样大的一个群体中，我们总是需要各样的恩赐，各样的人。
There's a place for you to use your gifts here.
我们总是能找到服侍的岗位。
Maybe you need to talk to Pastor Jack or one of the other leaders to find out where you can use your gifts.
可能我们可以跟讲牧师聊一聊，或者可以和我们的长职同工去看看有没有我们可以做的，
Consecrate your gifts.
奉献我们的恩赐。
And so let me ask you today,
让我今天来问大家，
what is the gift? What is the talent? The ability that you've got that needs to be consecrated to God for 2019?
问大家，在2019年，你的哪一个恩赐，你的哪一个特长，也许是神需要你拿出来运用的呢？
Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you.
你们要自洁，因为明天耶和华必在你们中间行奇事。
So maybe at the start of this new year, 2019, it's time to do a bit of a cleanup, a time to do a check of our relationship with God.
在新年开始的时候，是我们大扫除，也是我们去检视我们和神关系的时候。
You know, there are all kinds of things that kind of clutter up our lives, aren't there?
我们的生活中有很多的杂事，会让我们觉得乱。
I don't know if any of you follow the sort of social media and things going on in the news, but there's a rage at the moment called a woman called Marie Kondo.
现在在这个新闻和这个 交友平台上，
And she started this movement of decluttering your house.
有一个是叫断舍离吗？
是
就是去扔掉一些东西。
There's a new Netflix series on how she's going into people's houses and helping declutter their homes.
我不是很确定。然后这个是应该是新闻中有人他去帮忙别人，去帮忙他处理一些杂乱的事情。
And people are getting rid of a lot of stuff in their houses.
然后大家就丢了很多东西。
And some of the op shops around New Zealand are getting inundated with all the stuff that people are getting rid of.
因为大家都在做这件事情，所以在我们新西兰的很多二手店突然间有了很多别人捐赠的杂物。
Maybe there's some things in our lives that we need to get rid of.
可能在我们的生命中也有些事情我们是需要舍弃。
Not the stuff in our houses, the stuff in our lives.
不仅是我们房子里堆积的杂物。
Maybe we need to clean out the corners in our lives.
可能在我们的生命中也有一些角落需要被清理。
To consecrate ourselves.
我们要自洁，
To get ourselves pure.
去让我们得洁净，
To prepare ourselves for the Master to use us for His work.
预备自己，以至于我们的主可以用我们在各样的善事上。
And so as we begin this new year, 2019, this is a great verse to begin the year with.
在我们开始2019年的时候，这是一节特别好的经文。
Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you.
你们要自洁，因为明天耶和华必在你们中间行奇事。
Friends, I wonder what amazing things that God wants to do in your life this year.
我想知道，在我们当中，神要在你们身上行什么奇事。
I wonder what amazing things that God wants to do here in this congregation this year.
我也盼望神在我们当中，在我们整个群体当中要行的奇事。
I know that today is a very special day because we're starting a new service over at Murray's Bay today.
我知道今天也是特别的一天，因为是我们唐点新开设的 Morris Bay 的唐点的
And maybe this is the start of an amazing thing that's happening with God this year.
也许这就是神要在我们当中行的奇事中的一件。
God doesn't say prepare your shields and sharpen your swords. He says consecrate yourselves.
神所说的不是准备你的装备，而是你要预备自己。
So I want to challenge you today to make sure your life is right before God as we begin this new year.
所以，当我们新年开始的时候，我们首先要去审视的是我们和神的关系。
Let's see what amazing things that God does with us.
让我们共同期盼神在我们当中所要行的奇事。
Consecrate your time and your money and your gifts and abilities.
奉献你的时间、你的金钱和你的才能。
Notice Joshua said, we will know which way to go because we have never been, since we've never been this way before.
我们注意到约书亚说的是，虽然那是我们从未经历的旅程，但是神要把当时的路指示给我们。
See, none of us knows what's out ahead for 2019.
我们当中，我们也不知道我们在2019年将要面对的是什么。
We haven't been this way before.
我们从未走过那未来的路。
We haven't lived in 2019 before, have we?
我们也没有在2019年生活过。
And so we don't know what's out there for this coming year.
所以我们不知道我们将要面对的是什么。今年，
Some of the ancient maps of the world, dating back more than 500 years, used to contain some words that were in Latin that said, "There be dragons on the outermost parts of the world."
世界上有一些古老的地图，大概可以追溯到500年或者更久以前。在这些地图上呢，在人当时还没有探索到的领域呢，它会有用拉丁文写的字样，这儿有龙。
On the outermost parts of the world, which hadn't yet been explored back 500 years ago, they thought there were dragons out there. There was things going on. There was terror out there.
所以在当时写的这个拉丁文的这有龙的字样，其实也可以在中文也可以被译为指出危险，也就是在没有探索之地，人们是认为存在危险的。
There's another map that was created back in the year 1200.
大概在12世纪还找到了另外一幅图。
And you can see dragons on that map as well, right on the very bottom of the map.
我们可以看到在这幅图的底部
That
也有
map That map also is saying, yes, there are dragons out there. We don't know what's out the extreme parts of the world that have yet to be explored.
所以这幅地图在底下也是画有龙，然后他也是想说，就是在我们还没有探索的地方有龙。
But on that map, you see who's at the center of the top?
但是我们也可以看到，在这幅地图正上方的最中间，
Jesus is at the top.
有耶稣的画像。
And so that map is saying, yes, there might be dragons out there, but Jesus is with us.
所以，这一幅地图他想说的还有就是，也许在未知之处有危险，但是耶稣与我们同在。
We can follow him and we can find our way.
我们可以跟随他，我们也可以找到我们当行的路。
None of us knows what's out ahead for 2019.
我们当中没有人知道2019年将要遇见的是什么。
We have not walked this way before.
我们从未行过这条路。
And as we think out ahead out to this coming year, yes, there could be dragons. Yes, there could be things go on in our lives that are difficult for us.
当我们想到将要来的这一年，是的，我们可能会遇到一些困难和险境。
But if we consecrate ourselves to the Lord, if we commit ourselves to the Lord, He will do amazing things among us.
但是若我们自洁，若我们将自己奉献于神，神必在我们身上行奇事。
I want to leave you with a verse that's found in Colossians 1 verse 10.
所以结束的时候和大家分享的这节经文是哥罗西书1章10节。
I'll read it in English and then you can read it together in Chinese.
牧师会先用英文读，然后我们一起用中文。
Colossians 1:10 says, I pray that you may live a life worthy of the Lord and may please Him in every way, bearing fruit in every good work, growing in the knowledge of God.
好的，
叫你们行事为人对得起主，凡事蒙他喜悦，在一切善事上结果子，渐渐地多知道神。
Wouldn't it be great if we got to the end of 2019 and looked back and said, yes, look what God has done in my life.
这样是不是特别好？如果在2019年年底的时候，我们回顾的时候，可以说，哇，看了神在我们当中所行的这些事情。
Wouldn't it be great to be at the end of 2019 as we look back to say, yes, I have lived a life worthy of the Lord.
或者说，在2019年结束，我们回顾过去的一年，我们可以说，在过去的一年，我们极力追求的是合神心意的生活。
That I've done my best to bear fruit.
我也尽我所能的去结我生命中的果子。
That I've used my time and my money and my gifts and talents for God.
我奉献了我的时间、我的金钱、我的才能。
And I've been growing in my understanding and my knowledge of God.
我在成长，在知识上也有长进。
Is that what you'd like for 2019?
这是你们2019年的愿望吗？
Then consecrate yourself.
若是这样，你们要自洁，
For tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you.
因为明天耶和华要在你们
Let's
当
pray.
中行奇事。
Let's pray.
让我们低头祷告。
Gracious God, as we stand here on just the first couple of weeks into a new year, 2019, we want to consecrate ourselves afresh to you.
神啊，我们恩典的神，我们来到你的面前，在这新的一年刚刚过去了几个星期的时候，我们愿意自洁，奉献自己。
We want to say to you, God, Lord, here we are. We offer ourselves afresh to you.
神啊，我们来到你的面前，我们愿意奉献我们自己。
We want to make the best use of our time for this year.
我们想把我们的时间最好的、最大限度的用来服侍你。
Yes, Lord, we are busy. We lead busy lives, but we want to find time to work on our spiritual lives as well.
神啊，是啊，我们在繁忙的生活中，我们愿意去整理出来一些时间，让我们可以灵修。
God, help us in the way that we use our time.
神帮助我们使用我们的时间。
And God, we want to consecrate our money to you as well.
主啊，我们也愿意奉献我们的金钱。
And Lord, we thank you that everything we have comes from you.
主，我们所有的一切都来自于你。
And we want to find ways that we can give back to you something of what you've given us.
我们也希望可以寻找到 合适的方式，把你赐给我们的东西再归于你，再奉献于你。
We want to be careful with the way that we use the money that you've given us.
我们愿意更小心、更认真的去计划怎么使用你赐给我们的一切。
God, we want to consecrate our gifts, the talents, the things that you've made us good at. We want to offer those to you this year.
我们也愿把你给我们的恩赐，你把你赐给我们擅长的东西，用来服侍于你。
Lord, may we find pleasure in offering these gifts and talents to you.
主啊，让我们可以有一颗乐捐的心、喜乐的心，不论是在我们摆上我们的才能还是金钱的时候。
Thank you for making us so good at those things in our lives.
主啊，感谢你赐给我们这样的恩赐。
Thank you for the wonderful talents you've given us.
谢谢你赐给我们这样美好的才能。
We don't want to hold on to those things ourselves. We want to use them for your pleasure.
主啊，我们不愿把这些留给自己，而是更愿意把它用来服侍于你。
And so, God, we want to pray along this prayer that Paul says in Colossians 1.
主啊，所以我们愿意用哥罗西书1章来保罗的祷告来向你祷告。
God, I pray that each one of us here may live a life worthy of the Lord.
主啊，我们祷告，在我们这里的每一位，我们都愿意行事为人，可以对得起主。
God, I pray that in 2019 that we may please you in every way.
主啊，我们祷告，在2019年，我们可以凡事都蒙你的喜悦。
God, I pray that here at Northcote Baptist we would bear fruit in every good work.
主啊，我们也祷告，在 NBC 我们的教会里，在一切的善事上，我们也都结果子。
That we would grow in the knowledge of God.
主啊，我们也祷告，我们可以渐渐的知道，更多的知道你，认识你。
God, today we consecrate ourselves.
主，今日我们愿意自洁。
We offer ourselves to you, for tomorrow we know that you will do amazing things among us.
主，我们把我们自己放在你的手中，因为我们知道明天你必行奇事。
In Jesus' name we pray.
以耶稣基督的名祷告。
Amen.